Think about all the information we come across every day, like reading the ingredients on your cereal pack, checking the sizing on your clothes, and everything that you see, hear, and even smell on your way to school. Data is a word we use to describe information, so any information that we could observe, collect, and then analyze. In my job as an astrophysicist, I am part of a big team of people who collect data from telescopes and computers. We then use all this data to help us get a better understanding of the universe. But data isn't just important in astronomy. It helps us understand and improve all sorts of things, including our health, changes in the climate, and even how many school lunches need to be ordered. And in sport, data can help us work out some of the tactics of our opponents, but also to train and perform better ourselves.
All right, everyone, is everyone ready for the session?
Yes!
Okay, so what we're going to do now is split ourselves into two groups. Everyone who has a bib on, you will be the footballers, and everyone without bibs at the moment, you will be the data scientists, okay? So, footballers, why don't you go onto the pitch with Alice?
Come on, guys.
Run along. Okay, data scientists, in my hand, I have these sheets of paper, which are basically outlines of the football pitch, okay, that you'll see in front of you. So what we're going to do is split ourselves up into pairs, okay? And each pair will be given one sheet like this. And your job will be to watch either the ball or pick a particular player on the pitch who you will follow for the duration of the game, okay? And mark down where that ball is moving and where the player is moving. So hopefully by the end of the match, you will have something that looks a bit like a map of where that thing has gone, okay? And the idea will be to see if we can learn something about the way in which the two teams are playing by just looking at the drawings that you have made. So these drawings are called heat maps because you typically tend to color in or shade in with your pencil more in places where the ball is spending more time and maybe shaded lighter where the ball is spending less time. Are we all ready to go?
Yeah!
Are you ready? We're gonna start.
All right, so already where is the ball being focused?
The ball down this way.
Exactly.
Ball on the left, ball on the left.
All right, he's the player you're tracking, right? Correct, nice. So the fact that you haven't drawn any crosses here, what does that mean?
I mean, just like staying to that side.
What have you all observed so far about the game from what you've drawn?
The players have always been up the top there.
So what is that telling you about which team is the stronger team?
Well, the Blues, because they're in the one area, so they're protected.
Exactly. All right, everyone, let's come back in. Let's see what the data scientists have come up with. So what did Lily do in this game based on what you were seeing in this map?
She must have stayed on this side.
So Lily, based on what you're seeing here, where do you think you might try to change your game when you play the next time around based on what Erin's map is showing?
I try to stay more, go over here a bit more.
What would being able to do that help you to do afterwards?
Help my team get more goals.
Brilliant.
We were following Nicole. We noticed that she mostly stayed up near the opposite opponent's goal.
Anyone else who wasn't paying attention to Nicole and how she was playing, can you also see how easy it is for you to now tell exactly how Nicole played her game differently to how Lily played her game based on comparing these two pictures? Do you see that now?
Yeah.
So do you all now see how important data can be even in football?
Yeah.
Excellent.
What would happen if we had two footballs on the pitch?
Well, I don't know. I think that's a great idea. So why don't we try it out and see what happens? So let's go. When there's more balls, it's become harder to actually concentrate, right? Is there something different you're noticing about how Jude is playing in this game compared to the previous game?
I think he's going more around like spreading. Is it spreading around here?
So do you think it's easier for him to now run around when there's two balls present, or if it's just one ball present?
I think it's because he's focusing on one ball, so he isn't going around much.
So now he's basically chosen one ball to follow, and he's kind of got a lot more freedom that way. Excellent, that's a very good observation. All right, so we've just come back now from a very exciting and rather unusual game with two footballs in there. And hopefully data scientists and maybe you as footballers also realize that it was kind of different this time round. Why don't you talk us through what you observed in this game?
So the scribbles are where all the balls went, and the X's is the play that we were tracking.
I see very few X's here, but loads of X's over there. Do you all notice that?
Yeah.
So what do you think this is telling you about how this player was playing?
That they were like mainly staying at the other end.
In the case of two balls, what's different now? You can basically have a whole match happening here and a whole match happening there, right? Yeah. So you don't actually need to run to this side at all if you want to score a goal, whereas when you just had one ball, you kind of have to go all over the place sometimes.
How do you analyse data in your work?
So I look at heat maps very similar to what we've been analysing here today. In the early universe, we had hot regions and cold regions of the universe, where you look at different temperatures. So that's what I look at.
I actually create the universe on a computer and use that as my data, so that when Ryan uses his telescope and makes very incredible observations of the universe, I can then take my virtual computer universe and see how well we actually understand how things like our galaxy and our planets and stars form.
What's the best thing data's ever shown you?
By looking at stars and galaxies very far away, we know there's these funny things in our universe called dark energy and dark matter. Ordinary things like you and me, that just makes about 4% of the universe, that ordinary matter. Everything else is something we don't understand, and that's really exciting for us to keep looking with our telescopes to find new things and make new discoveries.
So what have you found out about data today?
The data is very powerful.
It's more important than I actually thought.
How do you think the data that we collect can help us improve as footballers?
So you can see what you've done wrong and done right.
You can create new tactics by seeing what you can do and what goes wrong.
You can try and go places you haven't really been as much.
Perfect. Well done, everyone. I think you've learned a lot in this session that will make you better data scientists and better footballers. So well done, and give yourselves a round of applause.